Hello, everybody. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Thank you for taking the time to join me for this weather update. Hey, winter's going to ride again after a beautiful warm up extending all the way up into southern parts of Manitoba and Canada. Well, it's going to be out of here, and we're going to go back to an Arctic blast first, and after that, we're going to have some snow as well. And we have some immediate concerns in the next 1, 2, and 3 days with snowfall in and around the Great Lakes as well as Alaska. And we're going to go over all of that, but we'll talk about a serious shift in the weather pattern as well that's going to really lift the chances of snow northward, where we have some areas in the Gulf Coast that have more snow for the season than places like Fargo, North Dakota. Let's get right to it, and let's get started right now.
Now, a Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, everybody, as is the case, I always appreciate you taking the time to join me on Hutch's Weather. Drop a comment on any of my channels right now, streaming on all of them. So if you are on Facebook, please take a moment and click on the follow button there. That does help me out with Facebook delivering my content to more and more people as you sign up. So please take that time to do so. If you're watching on YouTube, please take a minute and hit the subscribe button. You can hit the little dingle bell on there as well to be notified of updates right here on Hutch's Weather. And lastly, check out hutchesweather.com anytime, anywhere for the latest. And what's really helped as we do go through changes in our weather is for you to share with me what you have going on and what you're seeing in your neck of the woods. How much snow have you got? What's going on with the roads? Let's talk about the 1 and 2 and 3 day snowfall potential. To do that, we're going to go right here, right now. Check it out. Now, we're not going to look at Alaska just yet, but we will. Check this out. The best chance of snow, where you see the red colors here, it's a pretty decent chance of over 4 inches of snow. That goes through Toronto and into upstate New York, where we have active warnings across the area. Now, as we zoom out just a little bitty here and move on out to Alaska, we do have some unsettled weather in those neck of the woods. And in the desert southwest, we have some snow that is expected there. Now, this is the next 24-hour snow. When we ship this puppy over and take a close look at 48 hours, you can see the aerial coverage of the big snow potential expands. And 3 days snowfall total. Check this out. So what do these colors mean? Let me tell you. Out by Thunder Bay, we're talking 3 to 5 inches of snow. These forecasts come from local weather service offices and Environment Canada up in parts of Toronto and Quebec. Now, as we take a look in the upstate New York area, here's where we get into the foot or more of snow potentially as we go in. So let's take you right in and take a look at this. Now, over the next 3 days, lake effect snow, Rochester, south to Erie could get ridiculous with 6 to 12 inches of snow. Leora, we're going to get to some northern plains weather as well. And thanks, Stacy, so very, very much. It's good to see you on board. Burlington, Vermont, you got some snow to shovel out there, but a good shovel should get you through 4 inches of snow. But if you're in Utica, if you're up here in Lowville, this model says 20.5 inches of snow. I don't care what kind of shovel you have. Hutch's old arms here get a little tired when we're talking about 20 inches of wet, heavy snow. So keep that in mind out there. Now, we also have a focus on the Rocky Mountains, Pueblo, Colorado Springs, and points west into the Sangre de Cristo Mountains in the southern part of the state here, where we could have some good skiing weather out there, out in that Durango area, where we're talking good 6 to 10 inches of snowfall in those areas. And then get out towards Flagstaff, and oh my, Arizona flakiness going on right there. Hey, Arlen says, when is this wind going to stop blowing down here? Good evening to you as well. And yes, I got to tell you, we do have a lot of wind in the northern plains. So now let's take a look at this overall pattern shift that we're talking about. But first, we're going to do that with a look at some other things that are going on. The cold air that we have had a break from is coming back in a big way as well. Much of the nation has been in Arctic cold, even in the deep south. And now, after the exit of that, we're warming back up. But as February starts, we have that. And we're going to see an overall shift in the track of the storms as they go across North America. And that's caused by the warming up that's going on down to the south. Let's go take a look at the American Models rendition of the forecast over the next 24, 48 hours and then beyond. So let's get started with what's going on right now. Here we go. Sorry, my wandering eyes are just getting things caught up. Now, check this nonsense out. Here's a snow system that's bringing north winds across the Great Lakes. And in some cases, those winds are going to cause enhancements of snow called lake effect snow downwind from those Great Lakes. That's system 1. It exits. Here comes system 2. It's an Alberta clipper coming out of, you guessed it, Alberta, Canada. And as it works its way across the Great Lakes, the storm system intensifies, bringing some warm air first in the form of a warm front type snow. And then on the backside, we get that cold north flow. And here comes another round of lake effect snow going into Wednesday morning. That's Wednesday morning. Most of the rest of the nation quite quiet. Sleep away, everybody. And look at the warmth. Do you see these red lines here? That's a pocket, a warm pocket. Not quite a hot pocket. Hot pockets are fun, but this is a warm pocket. That warm pocket, let me see, where is this? As we go through, we'll see a chance for some showers and thunderstorms working their way through the Central Plains to close out your work week and to close out your month of January. Then as we head into February, oh no, here we go. Now, there's no Arctic air masses in place here, but we're seeing a return of the storm track out of the Pacific Northwest and across the Central Plains and Northern Plains. With that, we're going to see fewer storms across the Deep South that have been really plaguing that area for much of the mid to late winter. Now, as we head in, check this out. Wave 1, as we go through the 2nd and 3rd of February, another storm system off the Pacific Northwest will evolve into a Colorado-style low in Wyoming. I guess we'll call that a Wyoming cowboy. And that cowboy's going to sit there and spin, and then it kind of goes away. No big damage done. But you see all these blue lines entering into the northern tier of states? That's cold weather. And oh, by the way, in the northeastern and New England states, we're looking at another snow snot event out there with temperatures that'll be on their way down with these north winds ushering in more lake effect snow. And by the way, have you seen the pictures on Lake Erie? That thing's froze up. Now here's what I'm watching for the northern plains and central plains. Good evening, Barbara. Good evening, Brad. Thanks, Cindy, for watching. Now check this out. Here's a storm system working its way through. Wave 1 on the 2nd to 3rd of the month is going to move its way across, and then seeming quiet, but this is brutal cold. See this number? Here's a meteorological snapshot tidbit for you. The higher you see this number, the higher the central pressure is with a pressure system. In this time of the year, the higher this number, typically the colder and more dense that air mass is. And when we see 1056 up there, that is one cold air mass. So this puppy's bubbling, and it's about to turn and return with Arctic air sliding into the Dakotas, Minnesota, Iowa, as we go into the first full week of the new month. And that means after the weekend, Monday, it starts pushing in from the north, and look how far south it goes, all the way south, and it hasn't even moved yet. So here we go, diving all the way south into the Appalachians, and here comes a Colorado low and yet another Pacific Northwest low. So the storm tracks are starting here in the Pacific Northwest as opposed to down here moving across the southeast United States and becoming nor'easters. Because of this track shift, we will have a chance at a Central Plains storm developing as we go into the end of the first week and the start of the second week of February. Models for 3 days have shown this trend. And this is the American model. It's more robust with this particular system as it rolls out of Colorado through Minnesota and into the Great Lakes. This particular model run shows it sneaking through South Dakota and off into portions of Minnesota. So that's going to keep this pattern very active. And that's a shift in the storm track from the deep south, where we've had waves of snow and cold and wintry weather that has brought, well, just a lot of nonsense down to the deep south, to the tune of nearly a foot of snow in portions of Louisiana and Mississippi. Now, as we take a look at this storm system working its way through the northern plains, on the backside of it, north winds come in, and it's just going to bring some more, reinforcing cold air to much of the breadbasket of the United States heading through. Let's take a look at some of these temperatures that we're talking about with regards to this storm system, and then we'll take a quick peek at what's going on with snowfall potential. Keep the snow away. We leave for Cancun in 14 days. I hope the flight don't get running into any bubbles of trouble, because you're going to have to fly through somewhere likely to get to Cancun. So we'll keep you updated on that. Hey, Davis, good to see you. And what up, homie, is the message. Thanks so much. Good to see you. Let me see if I've got any from you folks on YouTube watching. If you are on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. Let me know where you're watching from. If you have a specific question, I'll get to it. But right now, I'm going to focus on the northern plains a little bit. We're going to start with the cold air exploring. Now, cold air exploring can sometimes be done with the same model we just looked at, but just turning it over to temperatures. So let's do that to talk about the magnitude of the cold that is about to take hold. Here we go. Now, where you see the warm up here, we're enjoying some 30s for the first time in many days in North Dakota, Fargo, Grand Forks, all of the area. Just beautiful weather, and it's really causing us to enjoy a little bit of sunshine, and some wind, though, is keeping things icy. here's an Arctic blob that's going to move into the New England states behind the lake effect snows over the next couple of days. And in fact, this cold air blowing over the warmer waters is what really enhances the enrichment of the air masses, amount of moisture, and the ability to make a lot of snow. So that's going to continue. Look at the warm up in the Dakotas all the way down into the southern plain states. And in fact, when you see oranges on the temperature map, that means we're getting into some mild temperature territory. Now, here we go. As we go into Thursday, late week, we see a little hiccup on Friday moving into the northern plains. The Rockies seeing a big cool down as well. And then after that, notice this big purple blob starting to pool up to the north. As we go through the weekend on Sunday, big time changes will be a blasting in. They're coming out of Calgary, Alberta, and Saskatchewan, Regina as well. Cheryl says, good. Hi, Hutch, watching from Nadawash. Good to have you on board, and thank you so very much for shouting out there on the YouTube channel. Check this out. What we're going to see here is these temperatures are nosediving from the 30s to near 40 degrees back down into the single digits. And Monday, it will be cold and windy with gusty north winds as we begin the month. And then as we go into the deep part of the first week of the month, that's when it starts warming up ahead of that Colorado low that will be swinging through. Its exact track is uncertain, but the storm coming out of the Colorado Rockies has the ability to tap into moisture from these Gulf Coast states and wrap it up and over the top of some really cold air up to the north and produce significant snow. Colorado lows have more of a capability to produce some more significant snows up here in the northern plains as well as the central plains. And well, I'll tell you what, it looks like that cold just kind of sticks around and tick, 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 continues to bring down the chill all the way down into parts of Missouri once again as we go through. Watch the blue line as we go through with that wave of cold air. Where you see the blue line here, that leading edge, that's freezing weather. So we will have some in the Virginias once again, down into the Carolinas once again, and then boom, another shot coming all the way down south here as we go into the 10th of the month in the morning. So we'll have some deep Mississippi, Arkansas, northern Louisiana cold making its rounds down to the deep south as well. So that's a look at temperature. Now let's take a look at the northern plains. Now in the northern plains of North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, and of course, everybody's favorite this time of the year, we call it Minnesota. Minnesota and Bemidji here. We'll start the day in the 20s. Believe it or not, this is quite warm. Fargo's sunrise at 7:56. Now, notice these temperatures in the teens. There'll be a chance of a shot of snow with a clipper-like system really skirting the international border. I don't expect much for us, but the wind, because it will be coming out of the southwest and west, if there is some snow left down here and with temperatures near freezing, we'll have some icy roads. So check hutchesweather.com for your latest road reports. And on your Tuesday afternoon, look at the temperatures soaring. How about Pierre? 45 degrees? What? Hey, Black Hills looking mighty fine as well. Get out the beach going towel and head on over. 37 degrees Fargo, 33 for Babe the Blue Ox in Bemidji, 36 in Duluth and the Minneapolis Twin Cities area, seeing 37 gorgeous degrees. Deb, hi, how are you? Thanks for watching so very, very much here on Hutch's Weather. Now, let's take a peek-see at what else we got going on. Let me see. I'll answer a couple more questions before we get that 7-day forecast. I'm going to post some videos here coming up soon so you can digest comparisons of models on our late storm systems and the cold air as well. So keep your eyes on Hutch's page for those details. In the afternoon, we will still have those snow chances along the international border, northern Minnesota, the Arrowhead. Notice the temperature difference. It's along this boundary here that we're going to get a risk for some snow showers, and it looks windy with gusts from the west southwest and west northwest rocking their way through the prairies of the Dakotas as we go through the afternoon. And the 7-day planner, this is for Fargo, by the way, 30s. How about that? With average highs and lows that are around 19 and 1. Oh, it's finally starting to go up at least, but that's pretty cold for most of you in the rest of the country that are watching out here. Now, weird days on Friday. We start out at 17 and we'll see temperatures falling down to 12 as we go through. So that's a burr kind of day even here, as we'll be near average for most of the day. And then as we go through the weekend, here comes Uncle Frost Sickles. Okay, that's when the ice and stuff, just because your nose is exhaling, will form on your beard and mustache or anything else that's there as well. So it's going to be really cold, sub-zero air returning to Fargo, and even colder as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday, and then a little bit of a warm-up before that snow chance. Speaking of which, here's model comparison about snowfall across the nation. This is February 6th through the 8th. This system, one of the waves, moves off the Rockies. This is a 24-hour to 48-hour snowfall amount here as we go from mainly the 7th and into the morning of the 8th. Look at that. We're talking about southern Wisconsin, northern parts of Illinois on the American model here. And the amounts, way too early to give you amounts, but this looks to be the track with the most likelihood of seeing some people getting 4 or 6 inches, maybe even more. And look at the Rocky Mountains of Colorado and southern Wyoming near Laramie picking it up. Now, the European model, hey, it's a lot more laid back. It's like, I don't see it. And you know what? This model usually does a little bit better job when we're talking about days 4 and beyond. So right now, I have a feeling we'll have more of an impact in our southern and eastern counties with this system. This one does show that event right in through here, as a matter of fact. It's there, but it's buried by an earlier event that takes place as we go through the day of the 7th throughout North Dakota and South Dakota. We'll keep you posted right here on Hutch's Weather, but that's the way I see it. Zooming in on the northern plains, by the way, for those folks viewing in Montana, North Dakota, notice the areas of pink. Do not pay any attention to these numbers. I didn't put these numbers on here. This is model output of snowfall potential. And yes, it's showing that we could see some areas with 4 or 6 inches or even much more than that as we go through. Notice the Twin Cities, the southern half of Minnesota, right into eastern parts of South Dakota on that I-29 corridor as well. That's where I think we'll have a greater chance at seeing some of that more enhanced snowfall around the region. Now, if we compare this to the European model, crickets up here, baby. It looks real quiet as we look into the northern part of North Dakota, northern Minnesota, with most of the snow impacting, say, I-94 and points south, and Wisconsin could be the big winner there. Cindy, thanks for watching. Kim, thanks for watching. Good to have you on board. Barbara Davis, thank you for watching. I appreciate you, Davis, very much. And let's see, BA, good to have you on, and thank you very, very much for sharing stars on this live event. What? That might mean stars is working again. So if it is, BA, thank you so very, very much. I do appreciate your support of Hutch's Weather. Here's a couple of things I want to let you know. As a meteorologist who's been broadcasting on the air, on television, for the better part of 30 years, teaching meteorology at the college level for almost 20 years, oh, I got to tell you, it's fun talking weather right here, only in a new way on my streaming channel. And one place you can keep up to date with the very latest around here in the Northern Plains, no matter what state you're in or what area you're in, is hutchesweather.com. Check out the site. Let me know what you think. You can follow me on Facebook. You can also subscribe on YouTube. But hutchesweather.com has the very latest in what you need to know right there on the page for you. Thanks for watching. I don't see any other questions. So glad I bought a new snowmobile this winter, says Aaron. Thanks, Aaron. I sure feel you. I know a lot of folks over the last couple of years have had a lot of trouble out there when it comes to whether it's snowmobiling or, ice fishing too. But this year, the ice fishing has been fantastic in the Northern Plains. Not hearing so much. Thank you, Val. It does look like stars are back. I can't believe it. And I am heartfelt thankful for all of your support in helping Hutch's Weather get off the ground and fly for this last year and a half. It's been fun watching the weather for you. All right, look at the Rocky Mountain snow over the next couple of days. Let's take a look at those temperatures as we take you through the region. I'm going to duck down here and my eyeballs are going to wander as I pull up the now temperatures across the nation. The colder weather is in the Rockies, where we have some teens out there not far from Boise. Denver, you have 32 degrees right now. Not too bad for the mile-high city. But look at this. Compare you to, well, that's Bismarck, North Dakota, capital city there, looking pretty good as well. How about that? 28 degrees. What? Phoenix, 55. Yeah, I can drive that. Can you drive that? I can drive that. All right, let's talk about that. Now, get all the way down south. We got, wow, look at that. Dallas at 48 degrees. We have 37 in Kansas City. And look at that cold air starting to peek in from Winnipeg. But guess what? There's a little system that's going to skirt across here, as we showed you in the forecast, border snow with the international border up there. That's along that thermal or temperature boundary where we're going to see that. We've had wind chills down around 55 degrees below zero up here in the Northern Plains, and that's something that we don't always like to have. And it does look like we're going to see the return of some of that cold. Now let's take a look at that. We showed you snowfall potential, wind chill. Here's a look at the radar. Pardon me while my eyes are looking for it here. I need better glasses. I see it. I saw it. Where'd it go? Sorry about that. Here we go. Let's take a look at the national radar. So again, we do have some wind and snow on the Great Lakes out there near Lake Erie. And look at the snowfall out there as we zoom in just a little bit closer. Another thing to keep in mind here as we take a look at this is upstate New York, Kingston, Syracuse, all the way through Buffalo and Erie. Big time wind and snow blasting its way through that area. And it's going to last for not 1, but 3 days out there with on and off periods of snow. Both lake effect and south or warm front style wind snow. Val, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. And you know what? One other thing you can do to help Hutch, because I couldn't do it without your help, and that is to share with your friends that Hutch is still here doing the weather. Even though you don't see me on the old television dial, I am always here. I am always here watching the weather for you. So I appreciate all of you for joining the party and bringing some stars and helping Hutch, continue to improve what it is I offer here on Hutch's Weather. Check out the rain showers moving offshore out there outside of Wilmington and Havelock, and also down off the shore of Georgia out there by Savannah. So that's what's going on in those parts with regards to the radar. And we do see some Phoenix rain showers. How about that? That's welcome outside of Phoenix, Payson, just outside off to the west, south of Prescott in the elevated train there, picking up some flakiness as far as the weather goes. It has been a lot quieter in the Pacific Northwest over the last few days, but as we discussed moments ago, that is absolutely going to change as we go through with that shift in the overall pattern of the jet stream across North America. If the jet stream crosses into North America down to the south, we see more storms developing down here in the Rocky Mountains or just downwind from the Rocky Mountains in the southern one half of the United States. If storms make landfall up here, those tend to track through the central plains and northern plains. So it's been quiet snow-wise for many of us here in the northern plains, including Fargo, Montana, where drought is significant in reaches of eastern Montana and western North Dakota. And in parts of Minnesota as well, just not nearly as much snow. And I know people have bought their new snow machines, and you know what? Hutch tuned up the old snowblower. Haven't had a chance to use it, but the shovels worked me out a little bit. How about you? Drop a comment. Let me know what you'd like to see on Hutch's Weather. If there's a topic you'd like to discuss, I'd like to do that. I'm also offering some subscriptions on my channel right here on Facebook. So for subscribers, we're going to do some special discussions from time to time. If you have an idea, drop it in the comments. I'd love to visit with you about meteorology, anything weather. And again, thanks so much to all of you who have taken the time to upload your photos at hutchesweather.com. Hutchesweather.com, anytime I'm live, like right now, you'll see a banner at the top of the page. We've got some pictures that have been uploaded by a lot of folks out there enjoying some beautiful weather across the area. The squirrels are enjoying the beautiful weather. We got culinary artists out here making spaghetti in sub-zero air. That turned out a little crunchy, I'm afraid. And look at all of the beautiful optical effects caused by ice crystals in our skies showing up thanks to you sharing photos and uploading them on hutchesweather.com. For now, it's Monday. It's 9:25. And you know what? I've got a lot more content and information for you about this system. I'll keep my eyes on it. It's not a guarantee that we're going to see heavy snow, but someone will. Someone in the northern plains and in our region is going to get some significant snow as we go into the late first week and early second week of the month of February. I'll track it for you right here. For now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson, appreciating each and every one of you for following me right here on my Facebook channel, on my YouTube channel, and of course on hutchesweather.com. I am one grateful person.